Call the meeting to order. We'll start with the pledge allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Joe Schramm, if you can call the roll, please.
Yes, sir. Thor Ackery,
Not present.
absent. Sherry Ackery, absent.
It's Tom.
Dan Darren, absent. John Edwards, absent. Tom Healy,
Present.
Cynthia Isherwood,
Present.
Mike Janik,
Present.
Judy Jones,
Present.
Dave Perry,
Present.
Joe Souza,
Present.
and Joseph Schramm. I am present.
Okay, we should have all received the minutes for 5/25/21. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes. It's 5/25/21.
I got a question.
I didn't get those minutes, Joe.
I just opened them myself and I'm, Joe, or Tom, whoever put these together. Is there a reference in there from item 11 on Tuesday to remove the that one?
Yes, at number 5, Mike. There's a motion to.
Oh, okay, all right.
original Motion.
I was looking down the list and I hadn't gotten up that far. I thought they were numbered in accordance with the other items. My bad. I'm good with that. The minutes all look good otherwise.
Put that in the form of a motion.
Motion made. I second to approve.
Dave, you made the motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion. I did.
All right, we have unanimous consent for discussion. Motion carries. Okay, discussion and review of all budget matters for this budget season.
Chris Cotter wanted that added. I don't know if he wants to.
Well, we do have something to discuss on the budget. It's just a little feedback that I've got. People feel that a 4% increase is too much. And they seem to think it's going to be straight on their tax, but a lot of people don't understand the tax rate and the levy and the rest of the things that we deal with, on the committee. So, but there seems to be a call to maybe find some more revenue to put into the budget to bring that rate down. And I think we're going to have some more information coming in soon. So there was a request to have one more meeting. Joe, Schramm,
Yes.
do you have a date?
I can set
we have
one.
We have to confirm that we can have a Zoom meeting on that night.
So we could do Tuesday, June 1st, or we could do Thursday, June 3rd. I know Monday's a holiday.
Yeah.
We could technically even do
Thursday. We're
second
good
Tuesday.
because, we usually have meetings on Thursday. So when we start getting into Tuesday, sometimes I think we can bump in, was it the zoning board or the planning board, one or the other.
So you want me to plan it for June 3rd at 7?
Yeah, and let me just explain again. We're going to look and see if there's a way we can bring the rate down. What's coming out of the taxpayer's pocket, and that will be presented at the next meeting. So we may be requesting to also make some change to the docket to reflect the bottom line. So I guess it would have to reflect on the agenda that there may be votes not only on the revenue line, but on the entire budget for the bottom line.
Joe, how much money are we looking at? Does anyone have a rough idea of?
We think that might be as much as 1.4.
How much, Joe? I'm sorry.
1.4 million.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Where is that coming from? Do we understand?
I'll give you a good guess. Right now, what I'm going to say is I think the money may be available. I don't want to get people's hopes up until but we will be getting an email before the meeting explaining it. And it'll be several days before the meeting so you can comprehend what we're looking at. So
Joe, I'd like to go through this. If that money does come in, let's say it's $1.4 million. Where would we put that? Into revenue?
into revenue, which would just basically lower the levy the tax rate.
And that's where it would go. Okay. Because that's the only way you're going to lower it.
Yeah.
Through the levy. All right. Because I'm going to tell you right now, with what we did all year so far, and I calculated my taxes based on my new evaluation, my taxes are going up $73.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a big deal.
I did mine.
I know, and I'm probably in the same boat you are with my evaluation, because I also, went and got my evaluation down. A lot of people don't know how to understand that process either. So
Where's this new revenue coming from? Because I'm baffled.
well,
And it's kind of disingenuous for you to sit there and know something. And I've been working with you all year.
I understand, and I guess it's going to come out anyway. So I'll say we're going to ask for some of the casino money to go into the budget. It appears to me that we are going to be, we're going after last year's money. The casino's open. They're probably going to be paying most of this year's coming up money, the budget we're working on now. So we'd like to use some of that to cut back on the amount. And I'll tell you, maybe it will only be a $73 increase for you, but a lot of people lost half or 3/4 of their income this year. So
I plugged mine in, by the way, and mine went up 17.5%.
Well, how much was that, Tom? Sorry.
My taxes went up 17.5%. I'm sure, I'm like 500 feet away from the water, and I'm sure that had a lot to do with it, the reevaluation.
Yeah.
But I've yet to go through, and if we get the time, I'd like to go through and see what, how neighborhoods are doing. But you guys have some good points, data points there. You're not going up that much. But mine's like $1,300.
yeah, it depends where you're at and where the evaluation hits you the hardest. Because overall, the housing market is extremely hot right now.
Right. Yeah.
So, but listen, I don't know. I want to do as much as I can do for the taxpayer. So I thought, if we can't do it, we can't do it. But I'd like to try to get more money into the budget.
I thought we already had a legal opinion about this.
Well, I also had somebody look at that legal opinion, and they found there's about 47 holes in it. It's like he's taking state statute and just making interpretations. You read it, and it doesn't even, I don't have a legal degree, and I can read it and read that it says that, that the authority in town has the ability to, since it gives us under our charter, it gives us the ability under our charter to make those decisions. They're not state decisions that were made. And in my opinion, the council does not have, they can make the ordinance, but they can't order the treasurer to put the money into a restricted account. So they can make all the ordinances they want.
Make that move, you better have a damn legal opinion, because we're going to wind up in court before this is over.
Well, if we go to court, we go to court. If we have to add some money into the budget committee's legal fund or something, I don't know. That's what we got to do. I don't think so. I think that
I'm done, Joe. I'm done.
You go along with it. Well, I'm sorry, but it's just that, I know, see, that's why I didn't really want to let the cat out of the bag yet, because I know that it's going to start. And then next meeting, the solicitor is going to want to be on the agenda, which I'm going to deny because we already heard his legal opinion. So does anybody else want to talk about this, or we'll move on to the next? item.
I
Judy?
do. I think anything we can do to help the taxpayer is my top priority. I think a lot of people voted for the casino because they thought it was going to help with their taxes.
That's true.
Just like when they got the villages, the condos, they said, oh, it's all wealthy people, high tax rate, no impact on the school system, and nothing seems to help the taxpayer. And I feel bad for the older people that are stuck.
I got an aunt and an uncle
I
that
think
live there.
Barrington, I think when you get
I know.
to 65, I think they freeze your assessment, and I don't know what other cities and towns do that. But in Tiverton, they lower the assessment, big deal. They raise the assessment so they can lower the tax rate, and you're still paying more. They never seem to care about the taxpayer.
I got a big problem.
I don't know if that's true.
Who's that?
Who has the big problem?
Well, I think that was Chris before he turned off his,
Oh. Well, Joe, the only thing I can say is I want to make sure that what we're doing is legal. And I mean, I don't want to be back in court and paying any kind of money for court costs, number one.
well, I don't think it's going to end up in court. The worst case scenario is that the solicitor would go to the Board of Canvassers and say that our budget can't go before the voters, which would be, and you know what? I don't see, if anything, the council should agree to this. We're looking at having over 4 million in that account. I mean, there's going to be more casino money than there's going to be in the restricted reserve.
All right. Well, that was my next question. You know, how much do we think we're going to be getting from the casino? And you think it's about $4 million?
I think by the end, I think if you take all the money we'll get from the casino up to the end of the next budget,
Right.
it'll be about $4 million. I think we're going to get the money we lost this year and next year's money because the casino's open again. I mean, they open now, so.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, this,
Hey, look, I'm all for lowering taxes also.
we understand what you're saying. I don't want to, I'm not going to get into a legal battle.
I just want to make sure.
I don't want to back off either because I think we're putting too much money away and not using it for tax relief
But we did take some out
out of the general fund.
of general fund, right?
And I'll tell you again, I read that opinion from the solicitor, and I'm not a lawyer, but
Right.
where he quotes general law, state statutes, he's saying they say one thing when they clearly say something else.
When you read those things, you could get 5 different lawyers and they're all going to interpret it.
No, it's not that ambiguous. I think it's pretty clear that they say that the authority that they give the town, they give local authority to the town to approve whoever the town says, like for instance, the budgets in Portsmouth are done by the council. In our town, we make the suggestion to the taxpayers.
Right.
In our charter, it says all revenue goes to the general fund.
Right.
So there's no state statute that says that they can violate our charter. So, or bypass our charter. I don't care what the solicitor says. I've had enough people look at, that's why I insisted that he give us that in writing so I could take it and have it looked at. And there are people in the state that looked at it and laughed.
Okay.
I'm not going to get too much into it. I don't want to, say bad things about the solicitor.
How much
I just
more
don't
time?
agree with it.
How much more time do we have before we have to submit the budget?
We have till, June 6th. If we
Okay,
come
so-
back at the next meeting and we decide which way we want to go on this, if we want to add the revenue in or not, we'll be done.
All
Do
right,
we
so-
have to have that submitted by June 4th, that Friday, or can it be submitted on the June?
Well, it's by
sunset?
the charter is that it's the 6th, but obviously we'll have it in the Friday before the weekend.
All right,
Because
I'll
the 6th
just
is the
write that down.
weekend.
All right, if you want to
I'm
take one
saying
more.
if we
bite
could
of the
wrap
apple.
this up at the next meeting, next Thursday, we could be done.
All right, I'm willing to wait one more week, but again, I just want to make sure we're doing it right. That's all.
You know what?
That's all.
I definitely want to make sure we're doing it right, but I also want to make sure we're giving the taxpayers a fair shake, and that's why we're bringing this up now.
Yep.
And we did wait.
I can have the solicitor on the meeting here in 5 minutes if you want.
I don't want to hear, I've already heard his decision. We already had him come on. We gave us a written decision, and that's why I asked for it, so I could take it to other lawyers and have them look at it. And we did that, and it's a joke. So I don't want to hear anything he has to say.
And what lawyers did you take it to?
I'm not going to mention their names.
Oh, so we have a legal opinion that has no basis
I'm
because,
not bringing a legal opinion.
oh, you're
I'm
bringing
bringing my opinion. As the chairman
So
of our
you
town
want
budget,
you want your committee to vote on something that you've never put before them?
Joe can't hear you.
Joe, you're off.
You're off.
As long as you're off, I'm going to say this. I think that we need to understand we've got an attorney for a reason. And if we don't respect his opinion and if we're not going to participate, understanding what he's saying is legal from protecting the
not
town. And then you've got to have, give him an opportunity to defend his opinion against whatever proof you have that it's not accurate.
no, what I do is I read the charter, and I read the charter, and the charter says that we are the one that makes the recommendation to the town, and it says all revenue goes in the general fund, and no state statute nullifies that.
And we have an opinion from an attorney that the town pays for, and you are not a lawyer, but you're going to say that because you read it and you interpret it this way, you expect us as a committee.
Did you read the state statute that he quoted? Did you read his decision?
I
encourage that you read it, and I bet you'll come up with the same conclusion that I did. Particularly that statute that states that he's saying gives the council the authority to restrict funds. It says the authority, the body that's in, the authorized body is what it
All
says.
right, I think if you're going to put something in front of us, you need to get out to us again, these references you're making, so that we can review this before our next meeting.
I'm going to just have a suggestion at the next meeting that we add in $1 million of revenue using the casino money. That's going to be my recommendation at the next meeting, and I'm going to call for a vote. And if you don't want to vote for it, don't vote for it. That's going to be the bottom line. I'm not going to go through a lot. It's going to be a very quick meeting. You're going to have a chance the rest of this week to digest what I'm talking about.
Well, Joe, I would like to, again, and I'm going to say what Mike said. I would like to have a legal opinion from whoever you spoke to, whatever attorney it was, so we could have that in front of us before we vote on it. I mean,
Let me tell you what, when I speak to people I know that are solicitors in other towns, I don't use their name.
You're right in the middle of the meeting.
but we
Lawyers
should, I mean, if.
Don't like to
if we vote
use,
on
no, I'm
something-
not going to use their name. They did this for me because they know me and they have interest in this
But
town.
he doesn't see those. You can just speak.
Like I said,
Well,
only thing I'm going to bring to the next meeting is.
This is the town solicitor. Am I allowed to?
No, I don't want you at our meeting. We had your opinion. Thank you very much.
Hold
Mike.
on.
No.
You-
Who
you
let
just
him
go
in?
back
I
on
did
the
not
charter.
invite
The
the
charter
solicitor
says
to
that
this
the
meeting.
town
You're not on the
solicitor is the
agenda.
advisor to all
You know you're not on the
members of the
agenda,
town.
Mike.
That's
You're
what the
not going to
charter
speak.
says.
You're not on
The
the
charter
agenda.
makes me a legal advisor to
You
all
are not
committees
on
of
the
the town,
agenda,
including
Mike.
the budget committee.
You're
So
not
you're
on
now
our
indicating
agenda.
that you are not allowing the town
All right, I'm moving
solicitor,
on to
by
item
the
6.
charter, has the
Discussion,
legal authority to give advice.
possible vote.
To not,
budget
is that what you're saying, Mr. Chairman?
As I said, Mike, you're not on our agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I don't have to be on the agenda to weigh in on something that the budget committee is intending to do. That you say that the
Look.
charter is the holy grail.
I said I don't want to hear it, Mike.
That the town
We
solicitor
heard
is
your
the
discussion.
legal
You
advisor
came to
to
our
all
meeting
boards and
and you
commissions of
made
the
your
town.
presentation. We
Mr.
heard
Souza.
enough. Thank
Mr.
you.
Souza,
Good
answer my
night.
question.
I'm
Does
moving
not
on.
the town charter
Item
indicate
6.
That
Joe,
the
Discussion.
town solicitor
I said
is
I'm
the
moving on
advisor
to the next
all
agenda
boards and
item.
commissions
We are
of the
off
town.
that item. Thank you. Good night.
Can you answer that question?
Discussion, possible
Are you not
vote
answering
about
that
budget
question?
presentation.
Mr.
So we're going
Souza,
to be going into the budget hearing.
Mr. Souza, you can
So,
interrupt me all you want. I
and I want to
answer my
make
question.
sure that we
Does
have
not
a
the
good
charter
presentation to go
indicate
forward for
that
the
the
town.
town solicitor is the
So-
advisor to all boards and commissions of the town?
I didn't want to hear your opinion, Mike. We didn't
I'm
request
asking
your
you a
opinion.
question.
We
I'm asking you
asked
a
your
question.
opinion, Mike.
Does not the town charter
Joe, I welcome his
indicate that the
input.
town solicitor is the advisor?
We didn't ask
to
for
all
it, and he's
boards
not on the
commissions of
agenda.
town?
At this point, look, at this point, we're not hearing anything from him. All right, he's not on the agenda. We didn't request him to be here.
Do we not?
We
have
heard
enough
what-
You don't
members
have to
of the public
request me to be there. The charter makes
Like I
me a
said, we
member.
heard what he
The
had to
char-
say
the charter
already.
Makes me the advisor to all boards and commissions. Is the
Well,
budget
then
committee
maybe,
not-
maybe
is the
when you
budget
do your
committee not
opinion,
a
you
budget
should
committee
take
of
the
the town?
politics out of them, Mike.
No, hold
Maybe
on.
you should
No.
take the politics out of the decision.
Mr.
Quit
Souza,
worrying about
Mr.
doctoring
Souza,
your
I am
job
not
or
involved
whatever.
in politics. I'm involved
You know
in
what?
giving
I don't wanna
legal
hear it.
advice.
As I
Okay?
said,
So
I'm
when
moving
I
on to
see
the
a
next
decision
agenda.
that is being made that is not
All right.
based on any.
You know
legal
what? I'm gonna
authority,
have to call
I
this
have a
meeting to a
legal
close.
obligation to a vote, to, excuse me.
You're gonna have to call the meeting to a
advise the
close.
board
We don't have a sergeant
going
armed
down
here to
a
remove
wrong
somebody who
legal
won't
path
shut up at a
that they
meeting
cannot
where he
do what
wasn't
they are
invited.
doing.
So
So again.
I don't
I've
know what
heard a
else to
little bit
do
of
other
your
than tell
meeting.
him to leave.
You have apparently have gotten some legal opinion
Look,
from some lawyer who you won't disclose.
that's right. I
that
will
you are
not
on the
disclose.
right path.
I don't
I'd like
have
to know
to.
who that lawyer is, and is that lawyer the town solicitor of the town of Tiverton?
Like I said, we don't want to hear your opinion. We're all set.
Mr. Souza,
right.
you know,
Anyway,
this is
We're moving on.
This is
Andrew,
exactly why
Andrew,
this is
I need
exactly
you to
why
please
we have a
mute
town
Mike
charter.
there because
it is supposed to
speaking out of
constrain
order,
people like
he's not on the
you. You
agenda.
don't give a care as what the charter says. You
Yeah.
give an opinion with
Look,
no
I
legal
don't hear it,
backup.
Mike. You don't
give an
understand.
opinion with
All
no
right.
written authority.
Well, I'm going to
You
say
give an
goodnight.
opinion based upon what
I'm
I
gonna
believe
say
is your
goodnight.
opinion.
I'm saying goodnight, Mike.
You can say good night.
Good
I'm
night,
staying
Mike.
on this meeting.
Good night, Mike.
I am staying on this meeting.
You can stay. Just keep your mouth shut. We're trying to move on. with the
listen.
agenda.
I want you to
Item
answer
number
one simple
6.
question. Does
Mike.
not the town charter indicate that the town solicitor
Item
of the
number
town of
6.
Tiverton is the advisor to all boards
Mike.
and commissions of the town?
Mike,
Do you
Yes or no,
understand
Mr. Souza?
that you are
Yes or
interfering
no,
in our
Mr.
meeting?
Souza?
Mike,
Do you
let's get
understand?
off so if you can go on next week's
Leave.
meeting if you want. But let us continue with this.
We
meeting.
heard your opinion. We heard it already. We had you come to our meeting. You explained your position. Okay? We heard it.
So you're providing legal advice, not being a lawyer.
No, I'm going to put a vote before the budget committee to put some money in for revenue. If you want to object to it, go ahead. I don't care. I know what the charter says. The charter authorized us to make the budget, not the solicitor, not the town council.
You should.
It also says that all revenue goes into the general fund.
And by the
So
way, if you
regardless
read
of
my
whatever
opinion,
he
you
wants
will
to try to
indicate
twist
that all
around,
revenue
it
does
doesn't
go
matter.
into
You
the general
can't
fund.
change the charter.
Absolutely. You're
with,
absolutely right. All revenue
ordinance.
goes to the
You
general
don't
fund. And that's
change-
what my opinion states. And
Yeah,
then it
but you
states
cannot
that
restrict
by
it.
a state statute, the town
You
council is
cannot
allowed to
restrict it. You-
Again, you have this notion that the state statute is not applicable. Give me
It's
the
not.
basis of that. Let me remind you.
In fact, that
the town
state
of Tiverton is
statute
a
gives the
creature of
authority
state.
to the
And
local
there's law
authority.
up and
If
down
you
in
put
every
the
law
time to
that
read that
indicates
state
that a
statute,
town
it says
charter cannot
local
violate state
authority.
statute.
Read it, Mike. Local
Listen,
authority. It
Mr.
gives
Souza, I don't want to get
authorization
in an argument with
to
you.
local
That's not my intention.
authority.
But you
Go
are giving
read it,
wrong
Mike.
advice. And frankly, you are giving wrong
Go
advice.
read the
without
statute,
benefit of
Mike. It
the
says
legal degree.
local authority. Go read it.
Who?
Local authority, whatever the charter says. And the charter gives authority
Yeah.
to the people in town to restrict funds, not the town council.
Subject to
Charter.
state law,
Read the
Mr.
local-
Souza. You forget that clause.
All right, so we're
Subject
moving
to
on.
state
We said
law,
enough.
And that's where you go off the
Number
rails.
6, discussion, possible vote on budget presentation. So, at the public hearing, I'm assuming, Tom, you still here, Tom? Tom's muted out. Tom,
Yes, I'm here.
all right, I'm assuming that you'll be able to put up the pages as we go through the presentation.
You're talking about this meeting or at the?
No, when we get to the public hearing.
Yeah.
We're on number 6 now. I don't know if you all heard me.
Yep.
It's discussion, possible vote about budget presentation. All right. I don't know that I want to sit and do all of the talking at the presentation. So I'm asking Joe Schramm
Oh,
John Edwards to also participate in it,
No problem. I can help.
mostly because John reads about twice as fast as I do too, and so does Joe. So quite frankly, I think it would go a lot smoother with the help. Does anybody have any objections to that?
No objection.
And John had said he wanted to be involved, so I told him I welcomed his help.
So Joe, do you want me to, I'll just send him an email letting him know that me, him and you are going to do that?
Yeah, and we'll have to, get together maybe a couple of times and work on the presentation.
Do we have to vote on this?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Well, there's no vote listed, so.
I put down possible vote. I wasn't sure if we had a vote or we could just nominate.
Yeah. I mean, everybody can be up there if you want. It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm assuming it's going to be a hybrid meeting where some of us can be there and some can be on Zoom if they have to. So,
Might be live by then, who knows?
State law requires you to have a hybrid meeting until the end of July.
yeah, that's what I just said.
Okay,
So
no
I just want
problem.
to give you that legal advice just so you make sure you understand it.
Unless, of course, we're not geared
You
up.
know, Mike, you got a smart mouth, but you know what? You're not too smart because you gave me a written opinion and I took that. And you know what? It's going to go further. Don't worry. Everybody's
Listen,
going
Listen,
All right,
I don't
Joe,
care.
let's-
Thank you.
Listen,
move
Good
on.
night.
Yeah.
Discussion,
Yeah, let's move on.
possible vote, budget subcommittee. I'm not sure
I'd just like to see your legal.
what this
opinion,
was, this budget
Oh, God.
subcommittee.
Okay, what's the subcommittee, Joe? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it was on the agenda.
Yeah,
Joe-
I put that on. I think the meeting that was canceled because of the error on the Secretary of State, Chris Cotta told me to put on a budget subcommittee. I wasn't sure if he meant that was a committee for the presentation or not. So I just left it on there. We could
Okay.
disregard if you feel everything's.
No, I'm just reading through the agenda. So we're, all right, so we're not forming any subcommittees.
No need for that.
Unless Mr. Cotta had something else to add.
Chris, do you have anything else to add?
Nope.
All right, well, we're at number 8, adjournment. Before we go, again, we will send out an email, obviously prior to the meeting with the meeting information, but I hope before that, with a look at what the budget would be if we plug in $1 million of revenue.
Joe,
Tom?
I really hope you'd reconsider and let us know where that came from, because I'd really like to know.
What, the
before
money?
I vote on it. Where you got your opinion from.
Listen,
And that's all I'm gonna say.
all I can tell you is,
Send it out if you don't want
most
it.
times when one lawyer is talking about another lawyer, they don't want their name used.
Well,
And you know what? I just asked him to look at this for me and give me his opinion. And they gave me an opinion without even using our current solicitor's name, although it was on the paper.
all right.
But the bottom line is, I just don't agree with it. So
Yeah.
I'm going to come forward with a proposal. I'm going to ask for a vote, and if it passes, that's the budget we're going to turn in. I'm sorry if it's going to upset some people, but in my opinion, we need to get the number down.
You're touting legal advice and you fail to give it to your committee, you should resign.
I didn't tout legal advice. I said I have an opinion.
No,
I said,
you're touting that you went to
Based
lawyers.
on the discussions I had with friends.
You have advice that counters Mr. Marcello's, and you're touting that, you've been touting it the whole meeting, and you failed to give it to your board for them to review. You should resign.
Okay, I resign.
Thank you.
I resign not to resign. I don't know. Look, the bottom line is, the council can go along with this, and then everything could be fine. If the council wants to just put $1 million in there of revenue, into the revenue account and work with us,
You don't
That'd be
dictate
great.
policy, the council does. All you do is look at the available monies that you have available to put in the budget. The gaming money is not available for you to deal with.
well, it's my
When
opinion.
you come up with another legal opinion that your board can look at, and instead of
Well-
touting the bullshit that you're doing, you should resign.
Well, I'm not going to resign, and I'm not going to give the name. I'm just going to say that he did it. I didn't pay for it. So you get the advice you pay for, maybe,
Well, that's a good, I agree with that.
you
So
know?
let me just indicate to the board that you have.
No, we're done.
You have an
I motion to
absolute
adjourn.
right to know the legal opinion.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
You
Motion
have
to
a written
adjourn.
opinion from
Second,
council
do I have a
listener,
second?
A second.
And if you want to act.
We have a motion to
contrary
adjourn. We